Om Shanti, good morning, welcome.
Om Shanti, good morning.
Good morning. How is
Om
everyone?
Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti, good morning.
Good morning.
Om Shanti. Good morning.
It's a beautiful day outside. We were thinking about this whole subject of transformation. What does it mean to transform? We hear this word transformation quite a lot. So just looking at transformation, one thing is to transform the old self into new, like transforming the weaknesses. And it all boils down to transforming the form. The word is transform. So when I transcend the form, I'm able to transform. It's like this world is external world is a world of form. So there is a name and a form. And all my experiences and the reality that I create in my mind is based on what I think is real. So realization is that dictates my experience. And so to transcend the form is like when I realize that the reality is beyond the form, beyond the physical, which you call as the formless. So transform is also like formless, without form. Like we know that we are spiritual beings, we are souls in this physical costume, body, in this physical world of matter. But to just to realize my existence beyond this world of form. So this realization creates the experience. We're all on this spiritual journey, and many times we feel that how we can further improve our experience of meditation. And more we to realize. So there's a journey from awareness to realization, and then realization to transformation. Just like a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. So there's the journey. There's so many examples of transformation that we can look into the world and learn and understand how the transformation of the soul really works. Like energy is there, but the form of the energy keeps changing, like transforming. So to be able to be in that state of experience, that realization that allows us to transform. There's one word which is called change, and the other word is transformation. And there's a little difference between the two words. So change could be temporary. Change could be, we say, reversible also. So in chemistry, we were taught reversible process and irreversible process. So it's like change could be reversible, but transformation is not. It's like changing the form. It's like water turning into vapor. It's like form has changed. And so with the form, the properties also change. The density of water versus vapor is different. And so when I change the form from the physical role consciousness to soul consciousness, it's like a completely new, different world. And so the reality that is experienced is also different. So how can I create, how can I experience that transformation? How can I experience a whole new perspective, meaning to my existence? And in that existence, the soul feels naturally full, abundant. There's nothing lacking in that experience because there are no needs or desires in that experience. So the power of realization and the power of transformation it's like realization allows me to experience the invisible. It's like when we call truth, right? Truth. How do I experience truth? The truth of being a soul, the truth of being a guest in this world. One is to understand, but the other is to realize. So understanding is still, I have understood the meaning of it, I have understood how it works. But then realization is a little deeper or a subtler understanding. Realization has to do with heart. It's like a process of opening up of the heart. And when the heart opens, then I'm able to experience. So realization is kind of the key that allows me to experience the truth. It's like yesterday we were discussing if I want to explain sugar to someone, what is sugar? Someone who has never tasted sugar, for example, I can explain to them, okay, sugar is like this, it is white in color, and it looks like this, and this is the chemical structure, this is how it is formed. But then if I just give them sugar to taste, and then they taste it, then they already have realized, so that experience, once the soul experiences something, and that experience comes with realization. So once I've experienced, then it is very easy to integrate in my life. It's like, it's very easy to remember. It's very easy to be aware at every moment. It's like to create a natural and easy state in meditation, even whilst performing a regular or an ordinary action. Like this morning we were reading this beautiful message, like how an ordinary act can be elevated. It's like when I hold on to an elevated awareness, then my action can be a very elevated action. The awareness that I, the soul, I have come from a pure dimension, spiritual dimension, into this physical, corporeal dimension. But what allows me to hold on to that awareness is realization. So realization creates experience. And that experience then transforms. It's a beautiful journey from awareness to realization and then to transformation through this experience. And this process of realization is also like a deep stage in meditation. We talk about the 4 stages in meditation. So what are the 4 stages? We say one is relaxation, then is contemplation, then is concentration, and the 4th is then realization. So relaxation, first relax the mind, body, and then contemplation. I begin to contemplate on deeper truths, on the reality of my existence, beyond this just physical role. And then concentration, I focus my thoughts. And then is realization. Realization is more like an experience of it. And that realization makes the invisible real for me. So then it's no longer thinking about it, talking about it, but it's about experiencing it. And once I've experienced, then to just naturally hold it, even when I'm consciously engaged in some activity. And so, the course, the meditation course that we do, generally we say there are 3 stages. And the first stage is, just the introductory. We say the course that we have done. The second we say is a revision course. And the third is a realization course. So realization course is when I have tasted the experience of being a spiritual being. I've tasted the experience of this loving relationship with the divine. I've tasted the experience of being a guest in this world. I've tasted the experience of silence. So that taste comes with realization. The thought was to spend some time together today to look into some deeper aspects of realization and create some time to really go deep and experience. A few slides here. Are you able to see the slides?
Yeah, got it.
Says realize to transform. It's like the eye. The eye gets lit up. So when I realize myself, and the word, self-realization is so commonly used. Self-realization. So I realize my true self. And that creates the experience of transformation. That creates light. And how long does it take to realize? And it's just realization is like just lighting up the bulb, right? Instant. So realization is that, like that aha moment. Aha, now I've realized this. Now I've realized this. And that's why, on the journey of self-transformation, sometimes, we may feel pressured by time. You say, oh no, I don't have time, or there is less time. No. But the more I understand, it's just a matter of creating moments of realization. And these moments just are instant. It really, it's not a very long time-taking process. It's just instantly I can realize. So it's an inner work. And so once I realize, then I live in truth. I live in reality. And that is the transformation of my attitude. It says, if we want to realize the truth, we must open our real eyes. Real eyes. As if these physical eyes are unrealized. Unrealized see the unreal. And real eyes see the real. The real. Who is the real? Real is the observer. Real is the invisible. Everything else is a story world. We say unreal. So realizing the truth. Truth is, we're all looking for truth eventually. Truth is a very valuable experience of truth. It's like many of you may have heard this story about truth. And this, there was a man and he had a dream. And after he had a dream, he went to the top of a mountain. And a saint was sitting there under a tree doing tapasya. And this man comes to him. He says, give me the diamond, give me the diamond. And this saint said, what do you mean? What are you looking for? So this man said, I saw a dream last night. And in the dream, I saw that I'm walking up on the top of a mountain. And there is a saint sitting under a tree. And I ask for a diamond and the saint gives me that diamond. So I just came up the mountain and I'm seeing you doing tapasya. Now I want that diamond. So the saint said, oh, okay, that diamond. Okay, here it is. Take this diamond. So this person takes the diamond, very expensive and valuable diamond, and goes away. And it's very, he goes away in happiness. And after a week, the same person comes back again to the saint. So the saint said, what do you need now? So this person gives the diamond back to him and asks the saint, I don't need this diamond because this diamond has made me more fearful and I'm much more stressful because anything can happen to it. People can steal it. I cannot trust anyone. I cannot even trust my family. So I don't want this diamond, but I want that diamond or that wealth that allowed you to give me this diamond. What is that wealth that allowed you to give me this diamond? And the saint said, that wealth is the wealth of truth. Truth. A life that is lived in truth. A life that is lived in truth is a real life. Real life. And truth is experienced when I open my real eyes. That is the eyes that can look into the world within. Real eyes. And so a couple of days back we were talking about introversion and how introversion is so important. It's like opening up the real eyes. It's like going within, turning within. Introvert. Introvert means looking within. It's like generally the senses perceive the world outside, and that information comes in and that influences the mind. But then introversion is like my senses, my eyes are looking within. I'm listening to the inner voice. And I'm speaking from that. I'm speaking to the inner being. It's like introversion. That allows the soul to open up. It's like real eyes opened up. That's why they also show like the third eye. It's the eye of inner wisdom. To open up the real eyes. This is another nice quote. It's real eyes realize real lies. Real lies. As if there is a real experience and there is an unreal experience, like truth and false. Truth and false. So once I live in reality, once I live in truth, once I experience it, then I understand what is false, what is true. So then I'm able to decide and discern. So the soul gets the power to discern what is truth, what is not. Where to engage my energy, where to not. Like when we were kids, we were in examinations, there'll be true, false. They'll say this statement true or false, true or false. And just mark true, false, true, false. And so it's good, to have this. Like, for example, if I'm feeling something or there's an emotion, then a good way to, to understand and realize, okay, this is the feeling, emotion, is it true or is it false? Means, is it coming from truth or is it coming from false? False is everything that is temporary, that is bound to end is false. Everything that is permanent, that is coming from the light of soul is true. So this is true, so I hold it. It is false, I don't hold it. I drop it. It's like heaviness is created in the mind by holding on to false lies. Because the soul is not designed, the mind is not designed to hold lies. That's why a child cannot tell lies. A child always tells the truth. Because the soul is designed to live in the truth. And so a very easy way to feel light and easy in life is to just drop off all the layers of false. It means in my mind, I'm free from all those expansions. It's like expansion is something that is to be understood, but essence is something to be realized. And so truth is the essence. It has to be realized. So if we just take a moment to just right now, just see any layer of the world of the role, limited role, temporary role, and any heaviness related to the role, any heaviness related to any sort of uncertainty or fear. It's all based in lie, false. Meaning it is, today it is, tomorrow it may not be. So there's no point basing, investing my heart or my emotions into it. So I easily, in this moment, drop everything that is false. Everything linked with any form, I instantly drop. And then I'm easily able to just hold on to the light, the truth, the light of the soul, the truth of the soul. And when I realize this truth, I automatically experience freedom because I've dropped off all the lies. I experience freedom. I'm free. I'm free. And when the mind is free, the mind can fly. There are no cages to bind the mind. Yesterday was India's Independence Day. It's like freedom, real freedom, true independence. True independence is independence from false. True independence is to live in and to realize the truth. Because in truth, there is no dependence. It's like my mind, my feelings, my emotions are not dependent on anything external. It's independent. That's why experience of freedom. So the more I channelize my energy just to create moments where I'm in full realization and I'm seeing everything as it is in its true form. In its true form. And that is what is the perspective of God, the divine is. What's the difference between a human being and a divine? That is the supreme is that the supreme is able to see the truth and live in the truth all the time. And the human may be able to experience it sometime, but not all the time. And that's the journey. And that's why when we hear the word remember, it actually is to remember the truth, to stabilize in the truth. Awakening to the truth is a deep realization of what you are as an experience, who I am as an experience. Just I am an experience of peace. That's why I say Om Shanti, experience of peace. Not just as a concept, not just as an understanding, but as an experience. What is it that is listening? It's like right now. What's that energy that is listening? Ears are processing the signals, right? But who is it inside that is listening? What is it that is feeling? What energy, the subtle energy, the spiritual energy that is feeling? The energy that is even beyond. Who is that? Feel it, sense it, welcome it. So I feel the being, I sense the presence of the spiritual light, and I welcome the experience. That's all. Just sensing. That's why sometimes we call it super sensuous joy. The experience in meditation, we say it's super sensuous joy because it is something that is sensed within by the being, inner being. It's not external. It's beyond the physical senses. Transcend the form to transform. Transcend the form to transform. And that is essentially at the heart of our meditation. That's what we are doing, transcending the form. I'm not this body, I'm not this role, I'm above it, I'm just a tiny being of light. Transform. So my reality is now the soul. Transform. In nature, there is a very good example of transformation. And that transformation is of a caterpillar into a butterfly. And it's a process of complete reworking of the form. Like the form of the caterpillar, the cells of the caterpillar, and the cells of a butterfly are completely different. And so from one existence, a whole new existence is created. Like completely transcending the form. And it happens in chrysalis. It's like the cocoon. There's a nice little video about how the caterpillar transcends the form. What happens? And this little documentary, it gives an insight into the whole process of caterpillar changing its form to go into the chrysalis. And that's what meditation is, right? So it's like I'm transcending the physical form into the spiritual, this chrysalis stage of silence, of realization, of experience. So just give me a moment and just play that clip. Thank you.
We've seen how managing woodland and farmland for butterflies can preserve the countryside we love, and also how butterflies can inspire the next generation to protect it. But if you still have doubts about whether butterflies can make our countryside a better place, then you need look no further than the humble caterpillar. Because if there's one thing we've learned from them, it's that change is possible. This is a brimstone. It emerged from an egg a few weeks ago. Now it's ready for a change. First, it spins a silken pad, a place to anchor hooks on the rear of its body. In a move to rival a contortionist, it passes strands of silk behind itself, creating a girdle to support it through the change to come. With anchor and line secure, the transformation can take place. Caterpillars are little more than stomachs on legs. But that body has served its purpose and can be discarded in favour of another. The caterpillar's head is about to split wide open, and when it does, something very different will emerge. A chrysalis. The caterpillar was an eating machine, an identity rolled up like a sock and discarded. This body is for something different, an agent of near miraculous change, and one responsible for making butterflies powerful symbols of hope and transformation. This is a sign that something beautiful is surely on its way. The chrysalis is one of the most enduring symbols in the natural world.
It's like that anchor. It needs to find that anchor that allows the whole kind of a rebirth to take place. And so this anchor, or transcending the old, right? It's like transcending the old form. What is the anchor? That anchor is realization. So that anchor allows me to then go with them, create a new reality. And that allows me to then experience. Experience the life of a butterfly. And just like that caterpillar was going through, it wasn't a very simple process. It had to, it was like, it was doing it and then there was struggle and then it was doing it again, but didn't stop. So real transformation requires real honesty. And if I'm honest with myself in the moment, and having anchored my realization, then that honesty allows me to stay on the path. If you want to move forward, get real with yourself. So one reality is my true reality. But then one reality is also the reality of this moment. So if I'm honest about myself in this moment, that then allows me to move on. Otherwise, sometimes we may feel getting stuck in meditation. And that happens, if that happens, I just need to then check my level of honesty. If I'm honest about my experience. And honesty allows me to learn. And then I can grow. So moving forward with honesty. The other day we were discussing the words honesty and perfection. It's like perfection is something which could create pressure. And I want to transform myself to be a perfect being. Right? But more important than perfection is honesty. Because honesty automatically brings out perfection. Honest with myself, with the divine, with everyone. Having an honest heart is simple. Like children are honest. They will honestly say what they are feeling. So realization is also connected with honesty. The more honest, it's like realization is connected with honest heart. When my heart is honest, then I can realize and then transform. So in essence, we say the art of meditation, awareness, realization, and transformation. And realization is at the heart. Right? We see its heart. So with realization, my heart opens up to new possibilities, to new experiences. Opening up. It's also like the 3 stages now. We say caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly. So to be aware is like to process, to be aware in the mind, and then to realize, to go within in silence. And that creates transformation. Transformation, then I experience a new reality. And this is the whole process of meditation. The art of meditation is this. So quite often we do emphasize on awareness, but then what holds the awareness is realization. So if I just give time to realize, then awareness becomes a natural experience. So realization makes spiritual effort natural. Natural. And that's what we are studying today also, constant stage, natural. to be able to maintain a constant stage of performing elevated actions is through the realization. And once I've realized, like even things that I know, they get a different meaning and perspective. Another way to look at it is we call it choose, change, and become. Awareness, realization, transformation. That change, realization. And then transformation into a beautiful new reality. New reality. This is a very nice, like throughout through last few years, there have been retreats on this theme of choose, change, and become. There's a very nice clip about the whole reality of a butterfly and what the butterfly experiences. And what is that story of transformation? What is a butterfly? What does a caterpillar realize? To go into the chrysalis and to emerge as a butterfly. So there's a little clip on that. So let us just watch it. Thank you. It's like the life of a butterfly. It's really a life of an angel. Like this morning we were listening to the word alaukic, unworldly, unearthly. It's like a life that is divine. Just like butterflies, they're so light. And so having a mind which is very light. So this is the life, transformed life. Like we heard, alaukic life, alaukic attainments. These are the alaukic attainments, the life, the feeling of just being wrapped up in peace. And this is also the service. When we say awakening, right? Awakening is the true service. Awakening is to awaken from the consciousness of just mundane or a worldly to an alaukic consciousness. Alaukic consciousness. Like butterflies, they can't hear, only feel vibrations. So it's like a mind that doesn't hear anything negative. It's just feeling, like works on vibrations. And there's another beautiful physical process that we can understand to appreciate this whole process. As we say, digestion is the great secret of life. And there are two components to digestion. One is mechanical digestion, other is chemical. So mechanical is where there is mixing and breaking up into smaller particles. And then the next step is chemical digestion, where the acids and the digestive fluids are able to break down chemically the food into proteins and other nutritions that then the body is able to absorb. So realization is like that step of absorption, right? Like chemical, it's like I've gone a level deeper. So I'm working with the subtle energy now. It's like I eat food, but it has to go through these steps in order for the energy of the food to be felt in the body. In the same way, whenever, so I'm listening to spiritual knowledge or wisdom or truth, right? But then it has to undergo these steps in order for the soul to feel the power. And so in the morning we listen, and then throughout the day. So first is the mechanical, grinding, mixing, churning. That is the first step. Right? And the second is then absorbing. So I just take the essence and then I gradually absorb it. And just like, with this whole process, what happens is as the food is moving through the body with these steps, the body takes the nutrition from it. In the same way, through this process, the soul takes the nutrition, the soul gets empowered. And that's how this whole process of awareness is important, then realization, and then transformation. Yeah, there's another physical process in transformation is fire. Like fire transforms. You put anything in fire, it changes its form. And that change is irreversible. You cannot recreate from the ashes. And so fire, they say the most powerful weapon is on the other human soul on fire. It's like the soul feeling that love for the divine. It's like fire. Human soul on fire. And that fire then releases the energy, transforms. That fire transforms. So it's like in digestion also, it's like there's the last stage is where, we say the body heat is generated. That's like the fire. That's why they say don't drink water just after you've eaten food. Because that will kill, kind of extinguish that fire. But that fire also in the soul, it's like it transforms the soul. It's also like we often talk about furnace or bhakti or just sitting in silence with that intention. For a little longer period of time, but with just holding that one thought, just allows that transformation, that fire to emerge and then transform. We transform in love. Love is the energy of transformation. God is love and love is real. when the soul feels this love from the divine, like today, we've been discussing this meeting of the soul and the Supreme is then remembered in a physical form. It's like meeting of the energy, the soul with the divine. That makes it real. Transformation happens in love. It's like a mother is able to transform completely in love for the child. In the same way, the love of the divine, just this feeling that I am loved, regardless. Even if I have made mistakes, or even if there's some weaknesses, but regardless, unconditionally, I am loved by the divine. Just this realization. This is the realization. The first is realization of the self, the truth, right? Who I am. And then this realization that I am loved. The feeling of love, the feeling of belonging is at the heart of meditation. And I begin to experience that energy, transformative energy of the divine. Today we heard about like surrender and complete. It's like when I surrender, and the words were I and mine, like limited I and mine. So surrender comes with realization. So when I realize who am I and who is mine, then it's easy to surrender. Surrender, it's like I am living in the moment then. Surrendered I and mine. It's like any limited identity blocks the energy that comes from the divine. So surrender to become complete. The Hindi words were Samarpan and Sampuran. Samarpan is surrender and Sampuran is complete. So surrendering allows the soul to then experience, because otherwise there is a little blockage that doesn't allow that flow of energy. So I remove that blockage, that is called surrender. And that happens by realization. Who am I? Who is mine? Like this morning we're also discussing sacrificing the goat, especially in Indian festivals, some of the festivals. It's like sacrificing that I. It's like unblocking that identity, limited identity, or what we say the false, right? And that surrender then allows that energy for the soul to feel complete. Complete is full, not full. Full of the divine love. So from realization to transformation. Surrender is realization, becoming complete is transformation. Also, realization is on a deeper level. So awareness is on the level of mind or thoughts, but realization is then on the level of intellect. We say intellect, we can call it heart, right? Deeper level. So we often hear these words like surrendered intellect. So realization of surrender creates a surrendered intellect. Realization of love creates a loving intellect. We hear these words. The realization of faith creates a faithful intellect. The Hindi words are Samarpan Buddhi, Preet Buddhi, Nishchay Buddhi, Divya Buddhi, divine intellect. Realization of love of the divine. It's like divine creates a divine intellect. So there's a connection between realization and the intellect. Then that intellect is able to hold on to that experience and awareness. And another realization is the realization of time. An instant realization sees endless time. Like today we were discussing, cyclic, time is cyclic, not linear, cyclic, endless. Linear is, it starts and ends, but cyclic is endless. An instant realization sees endless time. Endless time is as one moment. When one comprehends the endless moment, he realizes the person who is seeing it. I'm able to just see everything, the story of the soul. That's why sometimes, we hear self-realization, discuss of self-realization. It is that. So seeing the story in the cycle. This probably will end here. Three aspects, right? Self, divine, and time. That creates the truth, right? Self, divine, supreme, that love, and time. And this realization, that these are like the anchor points with which the chrysalis can form. In silence, then I'm able to transcend the form and transform into a lockic or a butterfly, create that experience. So let's just take a moment to experience, to realize my truth, spiritual being, belonging to the divine, connecting in that love through this journey of time. And this realization is the anchor that brings me, takes me into silence. And the soul absorbs the love and light from the Supreme and lives a life of constant celebration, joy, fulfillment, happiness. Om Shanti. Thank you. Appreciate you all taking time. And like to invite you to share your thoughts and feelings. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Swarabhai, it
Hello.
is a really excellent presentation. You nicely explained the difference between change and transformation. But awareness, understanding, and realization finally lead to transformation. Can you explain me the fine difference between awareness, understanding, and realization?
Yeah. Very nice. It's like I'm aware. So awareness is still on the thought level, right? I'm in the mind. So from being aware to actually understanding the depths of it. Like understanding is like asking the question, why this, how, understanding, trying to understand. And after I've understood, then realization is the stage where just absorb. So realization is a subtle, it's just experience of that truth. It's realization. And realization needs an anchor. It's like, so after I have taken a thought, I have understood it, then I take the next step of, going in silence and just allowing the natural process to emerge, and then realization takes place. So realization is not kind of forced. It cannot be kind of structured in a way. It comes as a natural experience, realization. But it is facilitated. Understanding is like I give time and energy to understand, right? But then realization is something which comes, when I have given that just time to be in silence and just facilitate.
Thank you very much for the explanation.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna Bhai. Appreciate it.
Shanti, thank you, Saurabh bhai.
Shanti, Simran Bhai, Shanti.
Thank you for another beautiful
Your
presentation.
message, screen was screen was okay? Is it,
Yeah, maybe it was okay for some part. I think I couldn't view it.
Oh, okay.
So very beautiful overall, all the insights and the presentation as always. Would you say, Saurabh bhai, like the more the intellect becomes surrendered intellect, the more the realization also grows?
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like it's like realization, surrender, right? All these are connected. So surrendered intellect allows the realization to take place.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. And so that's what, like, surrendering the limited I and mine. Who am I and who is mine? Thank you, Simran Bhai. Appreciate it. And anyone else? You feel free to turn on the videos and share. Joy. Om Shanti.
So, our teaching this morning, you used this phrase called drops of knowledge. And, that's what I'm receiving from you, sort of. These drops of knowledge to explain the experience that I've had in my life. And that is an experience of transformation. My entire life, I became conscious of it 25 years ago and said, okay, I don't want to come back and have a life that I've had. So I'm going to do what, spiritual teachings were telling me. So on the level like up, and so how I ended up with the Brahma Kumaris was because awareness, as you explained, is for me, it's like, okay, I knew about these spiritual truths. I was taught these spiritual truths. So I understood them on an intellectual level. And so, like, for example, I, give and then you'll receive. Even just knowing, okay, if I go to God and pray to God, God will give me guidance, and I did that. And I had all these moments of realization that you would say that were actually, the moments of realization were when I was still in my intellect, believing what this person's telling me. If I do this, this is going to happen. But what happened, but the realization was the experience that I had where I heard from my soul. The realization, so, and what that means is that I had this direct, visceral experience with God that I didn't have when I was in my intellect. And once I experienced that direct relationship with God, it completely changed everything about me. And it took time though. So it's been 3 years now. In the first year, in the second year, I was like noticing that I'm changing. Like, I'm like a different person, and people would even say, like, you're a different person. And so, Saurabh, you helped me to understand, through knowledge, what the soul naturally does if you allow it. And I love that the sentence. I want to get this. Where that said, you said, change needs determination to resist any inner resistance. I was determined that I didn't want to have a life like I grew up in. That was determination. I didn't want to feel the pain that I felt from coming from that kind of childhood. That was for me. That was my determination to stay with living a spiritual life. And then now, once you have that direct encounter with God, I mean, you just, first of all, everything is just beautiful, wonderful, and everything, it just is, and it's meant to be. And there's just, the weight of the world is off. And you just experience life the way God wants us, the way God created us to experience life. Because in essence, this was kind of like at the root of the question in the first class was, aren't we all just really God having a relation, learning, God experiencing life in all the different ways that God can experience it, basically, we're all these different roles and everything, the way God can experience God's self, when eventually, because we are God really, in expression and just experiencing all these different roles and through all these cycles. And then we just, go back through it again, and we go back through it again.
Right. It's like the perfection of God is there within the soul. And so that's why the soul, we say the DNA is the same as the Supreme. So we can feel what the divine feels. Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Very nice. Any other thoughts? You see Rekha Ben, Om Shanti, Rekha Ben.
Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Yeah, I like the whole presentation, was beautiful. The videos were great, and I like when you showed the choose, change, and become. So it's a realization, to change. Very nice. Very nice examples. Thank you.
Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Brother Saurabh.
Om Shanti, Anu Ben. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Good to hear you.
I want to thank you. I want to, first of all, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. And I have a comment which I have felt. I feel if your awareness is not perfect, or if you do not have too much like awareness of something, you will not move to the next step of realization. Your awareness has to be really, really strong and profound so that you can move to the next step of realization, and then later on meditation and everything. Is that right?
Yes, yes. That's why it's like a sequence.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Thank
until
you.
the caterpillar is ready, it cannot go into the chrysalis.
It cannot, yes, yes. That's what I thought. Thank you.
Right. See, Kiran Ben, Om Shanti, Kiran Ben.
Om Shanti.
Om
Thank you for
Shanti. Thank you, Kiran Ben.
beautiful, beautiful explanation. The main 3 points I adopted is change is different than transformation, and I understood that. And then art of meditation. Yes, I mean, first we have to be aware, and then realize, and that also like what we really want to transform. And really it helps a lot every time your class in our own BK classes that we are sometimes have questions or didn't understand. So it really helps a lot whenever I turn on Sunday's class. It really helps a lot. So I am going to work on these choose, change, and become. And all these does take an effort, just like struggle, just like from caterpillar to butterfly. There is a struggle, but the results are very beautiful, just like beautiful butterfly. So I really like these classes. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Kiran. Appreciate it. Ajay Bhai, Om Shanti. Good to see you.
Bye.
How are you?
Very beautiful presentation.
All right, thank you.
Really liked the examples of digestion and fire that you did. So basically the transformation of caterpillar to butterfly is, in science we call it metamorphosis. So it's basically the metamorphosis of soul. So your soul has to metamorphosize in such a way that it transform and get into the divine. So that's the basic essence of this presentation, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Very beautiful.
Hey, thank you, Ajay Bhai.
Thank you.
How's Vivan?
One is upstairs.
Upstairs?
Yeah.
He's always up in the stage as well. So he's upstairs. Very nice. And Rita Ben is doing well?
Yeah, she's doing well too.
Nice. When is a vaccine coming, Ajay Bhai?
Maybe end of this year, something. Yeah, we are very much hopeful now.
Okay, very nice.
3 doses per person every 3 months.
Oh, okay. Wow. Awareness, realization, transformation.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you. Any other thoughts? Anyone would like to share? We have Archana Ben, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I was just pondering on what to ask. Like the thing is, the way you said realization. So do we leave up to drama to unfold, or when we sit in meditation, like do we sit and try to find out? Like the first thing is, many times we see that we don't know or we are not aware what is to be changed. Like everyone feels they are perfect. But we are in the process, right, of change. So do we leave it up to drama? Whenever situation comes, it will be done on its own, or do we do it when we sit in meditation? Like how should we go for it? That was the question.
No, absolutely. I think one thing is also like sometimes, in the Murli that comes, realization of our own weaknesses also is important for transformation. So it's like we keep on making the effort, and then it's like that inner voice or inner calling begins to kind of overtake the experience, and then that is something which is not kind of created, but it happens on its own. So the realization is definitely the effort is to first to understand everything, and then to just surrender it to God, and in that surrender, in that moment, then the divine Baba can then inspire the soul to realize. So it's like we need that space in silence for it to grow. So understanding is still, we are thinking, but in silence is when these realizations come. So the more I just, because surrendering allows and facilitates the experience of silence. Because what happens if I completely surrender to what is? They say, it's very nice, they say, surrender to what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. So I surrender to what is. In the moment, I just surrender. It's like I just trust whatever is happening in the moment. Even in my spiritual efforts, I just trust and let go of any past and just have faith in what will be.
So, for example, suppose there is some particular situation through which someone is going, right? So, shall we consider it as drama and leave it, or shall we try to ponder on the situation and try to find out where I went wrong or what was the missing part? What should be done?
Yeah, no, both is important. I think we have to also ponder on things and then understand where it went wrong. But then also we have to leave it to drama, because when we leave it to drama internally, it's like we are free, and then with that freedom comes the power from the divine to then look into the solution, and then we are empowered to kind of move on and then rectify the situation. When the soul is powerful, then drama automatically realigns itself in that way. So the idea is to, with realization, I'm allowing the soul to then get empowered.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shanti.
Shanti. Very nice. And we have Roj Pen, Om Shanti. Gita Pen, Roj Pen.
This is Saroj and Kaval Bhatia. Om Shanti, very nicely presented, very thoughtfully organized presentation. And especially I like the fact that when Eckhart Tolle, that statement that independence and truth, I think that is not only on the spiritual level, but also on the physical level, that is very true. And that's what, if you recall, Gandhiji wrote the book about my experiments with truth, and how the independence was achieved. So on the soul basis, as well as on the physical basis also, these things are true, So very well said, and very well organized. Thank you very much, Saurabhai. Om Shanti.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Saurabhai. Om
Thank you,
Shanti.
Saroj Pen.
Excellent presentation. We always look forward to Sunday morning.
Thank you.
And thank you for guidance.
Oh.
Yeah, we are on our stage is only on change. When transformation happens, we don't know.
I think it's a beautiful journey. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
We are just waiting for grace. And what lot of efforts we have to put into it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for guidance.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you.
Om Shanti Sarabhai,
Om
beautiful
Shanti.
beautiful presentation, lovely examples and slides, and the quotes, very thought-provoking. We really have to realize realization to transformation. Very nice, and even the differences that you explained were beautiful. In simple words, you tried the best to make this more understandable. Thank you once again. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti. Okay, great. We have Swati Ben. Om Shanti. Do you like to share? Or Suparna Ben?
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation. Very informative, and as usual, look forward to it. Om Shanti, brother.
Thank you. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. We have Rajesh Ben, Naresh Bhai. Would you like to say hello? Om Shanti.
ओम शांति।
Om Shanti.
आज का क्लास से जो सीखने को मिला कि मतलब जैसे एग्जाम्पल था इसके बटरफ्लाई का और फूड का, तो वो तो हर एक कोई जानता है, लेकिन उसी तरह से आत्मा का भी एक साइकिल है कि जब आत्मा अपनी आइडेंटिटी को भूल के ड्रामा में विश्वास करके एक डिवाइन से लगी रहे, अपना एग्जिस्टेंस को भुला दे, क्योंकि खाना तब पचता है जब अपना एग्जिस्टेंस भुला देता है। वो जो मौत है, जो कुकुर मुत्ता है मौत है, वो तब बटरफ्लाई बनता है, अपने एग्जिस्टेंस को भुला देता है, एग्जिस्टेंस भुला के अपना साइलेंस में चला जाता है। तो उसी तरह अगर आत्मा भी अपना जो सेल्फ को भुलाकर अपने आप को डिवाइन के हवाले कर देगी, मतलब सरेंडर, मतलब तो डिवाइन का जो प्यार है वो उसको मिलेगा, और उस प्यार की शक्ति से वो अपने आप को बदल के खुद डिवाइन जैसा बन सकती है। जैसे बटरफ्लाई का जो प्रॉपर्टीज बताया कि वो बोलती नहीं है, सुनती नहीं है, मतलब तो उसी तरह से जब आत्मा का सुनना और बोलना बंद हो जाएगा तो डिवाइन जैसे डिवाइन लव में हो जाएगी। तो पहले तो आत्मा को अपने आप को भूलना होगा, जो मेरे को लगता है। जब तक अपने आप को नहीं भूलेंगे तब तक डिवाइन लव नहीं मिलेगा, और डिवाइन लव नहीं मिलेगा तो हम अपने आप को चेंज भी नहीं कर पाएंगे और प्रॉब्लम्स में फंसे रहेंगे। यही मतलब लगा मेरे को, और बहुत अच्छा लगा क्लास। थैंक्स। ओम शांति।
Yeah, no, thank you. I think that was the real essence, like to lose the self. That's what helps us to then realize and go into silence. So that's what surrender is actually, to surrender. राजेश बहन है? राजेश बहन भी थोड़ा बोले।
रेस्ट में।
अच्छा, कोई बात जरूर। अच्छा, anyone else? Swati बहन, share something?
It was good. Nice presentation, and a thought to provoke. So many things were there. It was nice altogether.
Great. Just have some blessings. Okay. So this is for Krishna Bhai. Your every thought is a treasure from which you draw power.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you. Ajay Bhai, you think before you think and choose only high quality thoughts. Wow. Very nice. And Vivan, everything is very easy for you because you have the power of purity in your heart and deep love for every being. That's so true.
Thank you, Saurabh.
Thank you. This is for Rita Ben. Honor and dignity fill your words. Benevolence flows in your actions because your heart is filled with love for humanity.
Thank you, Saurabh.
Thank you, Rita Ben. Rita Ben, whoever sees you becomes inspired to do something great and worthy for humanity. So true. Bhartesh Bhai, by self-introspection and contemplation, you make yourself positive and powerful.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Kiran Ben, by being quiet and serene inside, you enjoy the experience of clarity in situations.
Thank you so much, Har. Beautiful.
Kishore Bhai, you have bid farewell to all the waste thoughts with determination. Your victory is always guaranteed. Victorious. And Naresh Bhai, you appreciate your inherent worth by using your skills and talents to the best of your ability.
Thank you, Saurabh. Kishore Bhai is not here. Sorry.
Acha, koi nahi. Thank you. Rajesh Ben, you know that the road to self-mastery is self-taught. By turning within, you discover what is true. अंतर्मुखता से जो भी सत्यता को आपने पहचाना. Archana Ben, the blossoms of your positive and pure thoughts make your world beautiful.
Thank you.
Swati Ben, you're able to transform the atmosphere through your pure heart and love for the world family. बच्चे भी हैं? Kids are there?
No, they are not here right now.
Okay. You can share it with them. This is for Angel. You have good wishes and pure feelings for everyone. You have a special place in everyone's heart. And this is for Divit. You're always filled with pure feelings for all. In your company, everyone realizes their potential. This is for Nishant Bhai. Your positive thoughts provide pure energy to everyone around you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Siroj Ben, by living a life filled with contentment and happiness, you live a life which inspires others.
Thank you, brother. Om Shanti.
Kaval Bhai, your life is simple yet rich because you are clear about the things you value.
Om Shanti, thank you.
Thank you. And Anuben, your every thought is a treasure from which you draw power.
Thank you so much, Brother Saurabh. Thank you.
Thank you. Suparna Ben, you shine the light of faith. You have unshakable faith in yourself, the power of goodness, and in life. Your faith makes the impossible possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.